Hello, and welcome back to another installment of What's in the Box. I'm Paul, your crazy Vaseline glass collecting host, and this is the Glass in the Dark channel, a channel focused solely on UV reactive glass. This series is where I share some of the pieces coming into my collection, and we do a little unboxing. Today I have 3 different boxes with early American pattern glass pieces, so let's check out what we got.
What's in the box?
1, 2, 3. Are you ready to find out what's in the box? I know I am. All right, box number 1. I like to start with the smallest box and work my way up to the larger ones. Generally, larger equals more fun. Not always. I am a collector of novelties in small glass, so there can be some really exciting pieces that come in small boxes. Whew. Was tight. But that's honestly what you want. This is how you ship glass. In a box with paper in a box. So thank you, seller, for your professional packing. Layers and layers and layers. This is a Jefferson swag and bracket toothpick holder. Oh yeah. So the color is not at all like these, you can tell. It's been said that Vaseline glass will change color over time if the formula wasn't done correctly. I have a covered compote from Central Glass Company that is also about this same color, but this is fully UV reactive. It's not a yellowed manganese glass. It's just a dulled Vaseline glass. So I read in a little brochure, actually it was the Glowing Report from VGCI. It's a quarterly publication they put out that's all about uranium glass, specifically Vaseline glass. And one of the really early issues talked about this toothpick holder and said that it has been reproduced many times, and that's true. I have a whole bunch of them by Boyd. But if you ever find one with this scalloped rim in opalescent, it's an original, and it is very hard to find. So I don't have full-on proof. I'm going to take it to some of the Facebook groups and find out a little bit more, but I think this was quite a score. We'll check it out more later. Ready for the next box? I am. I shouldn't throw these things around. It's gonna knock into all of this, you know. You can probably tell I'm not in a very big space. I do hope to grow. This channel is growing so much. We are finally over the 1,000 subscribers mark, which is a big deal for small channels. And so we're about to grow, I think. I'm obviously releasing a lot of these videos now. I've been recording them for a while I work on editing other projects. If you know anybody that you think might like the channel and they don't know about it, send them one of these videos. It's a wrapped in paper towels kind of day. This one's so funny. I know exactly what it is, and it looks really silly in this. Do I just rip this thing apart? I'm almost positive that this is Duncan and Miller. It's in paper towels and then in a Kleenex. That's right. It's a tiny bandit blazer hat. That's also a toothpick holder. Probably that first. Oh, wow. There is not much damage. Like, oh, there's some. This is one of those little novelties that I was mentioning that I love to collect. A little hat, little glass hat. It'll go perfectly with the other glass hats that I've got. I waited and I managed to get this one at a price that I was okay with. They're harder to find than some of the other ones, mostly because they're so cute. That's generally the rule of thumb, that if something is like really cool and you're interested in it, like everybody else is into it too. Unless it's stretch glass, which still hasn't taken off for some reason. But it will. My goodness, that glass is incredible. Oh, wow. It's definitely got some age cracking going on, but it's like really on the surface. Maybe some tool marks too. Anyway, this is a fabulous piece. But you can see the color difference of how it has faded. All right, we're down to the final box, and this one is quite a beauty. But this is a piece that I ended up paying quite a bit for. I'm glad that the seller took these precautions, because it would, one, be terrible if it broke and there were no more, and two, what are you paying for? Okay. Ooh, comes with a free hair. This was a piece that I wanted the moment that it went up. It had quite a little history with the way that it was sold. At first, the seller listed it for about half what they wanted and then put a reserve price that was, I think, a lot more than anybody was willing to go for. I reached out, I asked for the reserve price on the first time it was listed. Then they told me, and I was like, okay, well, thank you. Then they listed it again, and I made them an offer. They didn't take it. And then it sold under what the reserve price was in the previous auction. And then a couple weeks later, it ends up back up again for way less than I offered before, and for where the reserve was a little bit over what it was first listed at when it had a reserve. So I bid, and this is an auction where, there's like 30 people who are watching it, because these are not easy to come by. And I reached out to the seller and was like, is this the same one? And they were like, oh yeah. The buyer just had a problem with it because it had straw marks, and straw marks are a part of the manufacturing process, which doesn't necessarily mean that there's anything wrong with the glass. It's just sort of a manufacturing defect. And the reality of it is that if you really want a piece in your collection, you're going to have to accept it for the type of condition that it's in. You can obviously reject that if you want, but I really wanted this piece, and I ended up getting it. I was the only bidder, and I got it for a lot less than what I had offered the seller to just sell it to me about 6 weeks beforehand. So now it's finally with me, where it belongs. I bet you are just like, okay, enough of the story, enough of the buildup. What did you get? But you know what? Story time is a part of this too. Okay. Wow. I don't think the seller watches my videos, and if they do, I'm not trying to say anything negative about you at all. I think the whole situation and the way it played out is pretty funny. I really appreciate the seller, and I've actually bought a lot of glass from them. So you can't see it, but it has the McKee mark, and this is a bird on a basket. Really beautiful piece. So this buyer complained of a straw mark, and there's not. There's one chip, just a flea bite. That's it. Everything else feels good. So yeah, regarding what I said about what kind of condition you're willing to accept things, I probably would have paid less, but I would have taken this with a crack. This is a really difficult to find piece, and I am a collector of animal covered dishes and covered dishes. So this is one that I'm like really, really glad to have. Here's today's haul. What do you think about what we got? Some pretty cool, pretty old pieces. All of them are a little bit hard to find. I'm pretty proud of what I got today. I want to see these babies in closer detail, so let's take them under the black light and watch them glow. Well, that's all the content I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this installment of What's in the Box. We had some really cool pieces this time. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Join us, find out when I release new videos, and watch them. I'll be back again soon with a new video, but until next time, happy hunting.